It's time to get unstuck. Do you love listening to this podcast? I'd love to have you give me a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. And if you'd like to help me keep the lights on, I'd appreciate a donation. You can do that at livingmoonmeditation.com/podcast. Are you tired of feeling stuck? Let's shift your energy. Start with my free quiz I made just for you. You'll get personalized tips for getting unstuck based on where your blocks are. You can find it at bit.ly/getunstuck chakra quiz. I have the link in the show notes for you. Hello, love bugs. Today we're going to talk about what happens when we don't feel love from the people who are supposed to love us the most. This can sometimes cause us to feel truly awful. If we aren't loved by the people who were supposed to love us the most, it can be an overpowering temptation to think we're awful people. It's a common inclination to internalize the lack of love or affection we received from our primary caregivers or close family members and interpret it as a direct reflection of our own worth or value as individuals. But we have to remember that this perspective is wrong. It's misguided, and it can have severe negative consequences for our self-esteem and emotional well-being. Now, growing up in an environment where love and care are absent can lead us to question our own worthiness. We may find ourselves wondering why we weren't lovable enough or why we were rejected or neglected. These thoughts can fuel self-blame and create a deep-seated sense of inadequacy. But it's essential to understand that the absence of love from others is not indicative of our own intrinsic value as human beings. It's important to acknowledge that people's capacity to love and provide care is often influenced by their own experiences, beliefs, and emotional well-being. Their inability to love us as we deserve may stem from their own unresolved traumas, emotional limitations, or dysfunctional patterns that have been passed down through generations. In many cases, it has nothing to do with us personally. Recognizing this distinction is crucial for our emotional healing and self-growth. If we can break free from the self-defeating belief that we are fundamentally unworthy or unlovable, then we gain the ability to separate our own inherent value as individuals from the actions or behaviors of others, even those who were supposed to love us the most. Understanding that our worth is not defined by anyone else's behavior empowers us to cultivate self-compassion and self-love. It encourages us to recognize and appreciate our intrinsic value, embrace our strengths, talents, and unique qualities. We can learn to appreciate ourselves for who we are, regardless of the love or approval we may or may not receive from others. Surrounding ourselves with supportive and caring individuals who genuinely appreciate us becomes crucial in this process. Building healthy relationships can provide the love and validation we may have missed in the past. Seeking therapy or counseling can be immensely helpful in addressing any lingering emotional wounds and developing a healthier self-concept. It's important to remember that your worth as a person is not determined by the actions, opinions, or love of others. You are inherently valuable and deserving of love and care, regardless of whether you received it in the past. Embracing your self-worth, nurturing self-compassion, and building a fulfilling life based on your own terms are powerful steps toward healing and personal growth. When we acknowledge that the lack of love from others was about them and not about us, we can release ourselves from the burden of self-blame and reclaim our own sense of worth. Our value as individuals goes far beyond the opinions and behaviors of others. We have the power to define our own worth, cultivate self-love, and create fulfilling and meaningful lives that align with our authentic selves. Remember, we are deserving of love, happiness, and a life filled with purpose, regardless of anyone else's behavior or actions. And that's going to wrap up season 4. And I'll take a break for about 2 weeks, and then we'll be back with season 5. So I hope to see you again in a few weeks. And until then, you have plenty of episodes to go back and re-listen to. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Get Unstuck with Michele Leffler. It's truly been my pleasure to talk to you today. If you like this episode or you think it will be useful for someone else, please consider leaving a review on your favorite podcast app. If you've got any questions, send me an email to hello@livingmoonmeditation.com. Here's to getting you unstuck so you can be grounded, joyful, and energetic. See you next time.